Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we are going to be starting a new course on machine learning, and in this video I am going to be giving you an introduction to machine learning. So the first question we want to ask ourselves is, what is machine learning? Okay, so what is it? Okay, so let's imagine we've got this box over here. So this is like a kind of visual brain, and these documents over here are some information. So we're feeding this information to our visual brain, and our brain will start opening and analyzing data. Okay, so those are some parts of machine learning that you will often hear. Okay, so these two images kind of come together really well. And also you can analyze, this can be an output sometimes of your machine when you're making one. Okay, so it can come as a line graph, it can come as a CSV file, so comma separated values, or anything like that. So just to get you into a taste of machine learning, I've made some scenarios where we will be making some of our own machines. Now don't worry, you don't need to do any code for this. Yeah, it's just a nice fun exercise for you to get into the vibes of machine learning. So here is our first scenario. We have got this scenario where our boss tells us to make some sort of a machine that detects different sounds, poses, or pictures. Okay, so here is this website, but I'm not going to click that because I want to tell you what you can type to actually get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my browser over here, and you can search up. Actually, let me do it here. So I'm going to search up, if I browse in, we want to search up teachable machine. Okay, teachable machine. And once we have done that, what we can do is we can click this one saying teachable machine over here. So it should say teachable machine, and you'll come up with this home page. Okay, so basically what you can do is you can just feed a machine some information. So like I told you before, you heard this kind of you saw this picture of a brain of information being fed into a brain. So we want to make something like that, but this time we can click get started, and it will come up with 3 projects. I'm going to do image project. This is probably the easiest one. You can do pose projects if you like, but I'm just going to do image. So here we have 2 classes already, and I'm going to make a machine, a nice easy machine that will determine cats or dogs. Okay, so I'm going to put class cat and class dog, and you can upload images or use your webcam, and also you don't need always put in cat or dog. You can put in like a human or not human. Okay, so I'm going to do cat or dog. I want to upload an image, so I can just upload it from my file. I've got loads of cat and dog images, so it's cat, sorry. I'm going to open this cat one. Also I want to upload a dog one, so if I go to this dog picture, okay, so I've uploaded that, and now we have to click the train model. Okay, so when you're training a model, make sure to not switch tabs, otherwise it won't train and it will give you some sort of error. So what it's going to do is it's going to prepare training data. You can just kind of look at everything over here, and it will just give you this. And now it's just saying there's an error opening my webcam for some reason. So let's just train it again really quickly. I'm not using my web. Okay, so here I want to choose an image. I'm going to choose an image, not use my webcam. I'm going to choose this dog one image. And basically here you can see it saying 48% cat and 52% dog, and obviously that is not what we want. So if we zoom in over here, okay, so that thing's coming in the way, you can see this cat picture. It is kind of in the same shape as this dog image, and we don't want that to happen. And also, if you look at this dog image, it's kind of the same color and everything, so it's assuming that it's 52% dog as well. So what we want to do is we want to feed these two classes some more pictures. So I'm going to upload some more pictures. I've got another cat one. Also, I want to upload another image, and I've got I'm gonna upload this. Actually, no, let's not do that. So now we've got 2 cat images and 1 dog images. So if we train our model again, okay, so let's just wait. Okay, so again it's saying there's an error, so if we just train this again, you can fix this. It's actually pretty easy. You can just play around with it while you're waiting and just click around. I'll just pause right now. Okay, so I fixed it. I just had to play around with it for a bit until it got fixed. Sometimes it just does that for some reason. I don't know why. So let's just choose the same image again. This dog one image. Okay, so hopefully we're not getting an input actually. So if I turn it on, let's use a different image. Okay, so first I'm gonna upload this image because maybe it's just kind of like it's getting stuck if I put the same image in. So now I'm just gonna train my model again. So these two have a different amount of images. So what we can do is we can actually kind of play around, turn the webcam on, turn it off, and it will kind of work. Okay, so I'm gonna choose a cat sample image. Okay, so now our input is actually pretty good now. So it's saying 98% cat and a little bit of dog. So as you can see here, our image looks like these 2 cats. So our computer is thinking like that. Okay, so it looks like this. It certainly doesn't look like these dogs, because if you zoom in, you can see these 2 dogs do have floppy ears, and these 2 cats have kind of triangular ears. So back to here. So here is our scenario. So we have now completed our first scenario. So we have completed what our boss asked us, and now he's a happy boss. As you can see over here, he is very happy. And now we've got a second scenario. Okay, so our second scenario is we've got this friend called John, and we want to help John. We want to recommend some videos to John and find out which one he likes and which one he dislikes. And here he's saying, I only like videos that are long and already have a lot of likes. So we want to give him some recommendations. So I'm not going to click on this again. I am going to show you. Okay, so it's come up big again. So what do I want to search up? So first I want to search up, I'm going to search up ML Playground. Okay, so if I just zoom out and enter that, because otherwise it's going to be really annoying. Okay, so if I enter that, we've got Machine Learning Playground over here, and it should say https mlplayground.com, so you can click on that over there. And here you can see there's this kind of thing over here saying populate the canvas, click to add data points. Okay, so here if we click all of these, it gives us kind of like a tutorial. It lets us select some models, it lets us use parameters, it tells us to train, and it tells us to kind of read and learn what each model does. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and let's actually train. So this is kind of can kind of be hard to imagine, kind of be easy at the same time. So what can we do first? So what I'm going to do is let's say, whoops, let's clear this. So let's say this axis, so if you look at my cursor, there's this line going down here. So you can see my cursor is going down. So this y-axis is, let's say, the axis of how long the video is. So here we've got the shortest videos, and up we've got the longest videos at the top over here. And this x-axis is the number of likes. So here we've got the most number of likes, and here we've got the least number of likes. So here we're using the nearest neighbors model, and let's say this orange represents let's say this orange represents which videos John will like. So as you saw here, he said, I only like videos that are long and already have lots of likes. So how can we show that? So as I said, orange is the videos we're going to recommend to John. So let's say somewhere up here, because remember, loads of likes and long. Okay, so we're going to do somewhere up here, maybe a bit here as well, a bit down here, maybe just kind of just over halfway, just fill in this area over here. Okay, so let's say these are all the videos that John likes, so you can recommend to John, and here are all of the videos that John may dislike or may not like. Okay, so we never know. What we can do first is we can just train around with this. We can just fill this up, because like there is a lot of videos that John doesn't like right now for some reason. So let's fill this up. So here we've got parameters, so I'm not going to change that. I'm just going to train it to see what happens. So as you can see here, we have got this, we've got this section over here. This is orange and it's shaded, okay? So it's a nice shaded orange. And here we've got a shaded purple for the purple section. So it's pretty accurate. So this orange section shows which videos we should recommend to John. And this purple section shows which videos we don't want to recommend to John, okay? So, right now you've just created your own machine that recommends videos to our friend John over here, okay? So great job for doing that. You can also play around with all of these different models and play around with the parameters and maybe read all of this and just learn a bit more about different models. But don't worry, we'll be learning about different models too when you advance through this course. So we have now finished the second and basically last scenario. So now we are going to look at what steps we should take to build an accurate machine, because the steps you saw before aren't these actual steps you take to build a machine. That's just to give you a taste of machine learning, because machines take a long time to make, and you have to make them from scratch as well. So we need to consider these steps. So here are all these steps. So the first step is data collection. So we need to collect data and and use that. So first we want to collect data that we can use for testing our model. So you can collect data in any form such as CSV, so comma separated values. That is most advised. So you can collect it in maybe like spreadsheet data or Word document data, any kind of data that is suitable for machine learning. After that, we've got data modeling. Now what data modeling is we need to make a model to put in our data. So as you saw in our teachable machine experiment where we fed our machine images, that machine was a model, and we want to build that so we can give it different images and test it. So the first step is what problem we're trying to solve. So in data modeling, okay, so not all of it. So the first step in data modeling is what problem are we trying to solve. So you can't make a machine without knowing what your machine is going to do, what problem it's going to solve, and how will it solve this problem. Okay, so you need to know that before you actually make your machine. After that, we've got what data do we have. So we need to know which data do we have. Is it suitable for testing model once we have made it. Okay, so if let's say we're making a model that determines that cats or dogs, we don't want to give it a image of a hamster. Okay, we don't want to do that, otherwise it's going to get confused and a machine model will not work that as good as it will be if we feed it the correct data. After that, we want to know what defines success. So what kind of outputs define success? So let's say we have a number of different outputs. We want to know which output is the output we want, so the desired output. Okay, so let's say we've got let's use our model determines cats or dogs. We want our model to determine cats or dogs correctly. So that output defines success, and we need to set a goal towards that output, okay, so we can actually achieve it. After that, after we have found out which output defines success, we want to look at what features should we model. So which features should we actually include in our model? So should we give it a feature that gives you tips depending on which images you need to put in, or should we put in warnings? Okay, so we could put in special features, and also we need to include main features such as determining if it is a cat or dog. After that, we've got what kind of model should we use. So as you saw in that machine learning playground, there are different models that we could experiment with. So we want to know which model works best, because some models work really good with some types of data, some work really bad with some types of data. So you want to find the correct one and take this top one over here that gives you the best result. After that, you want to experiment. Okay, so you want to think about what have we tried so far? What else can we try? How can we get a better output and improve our model? After you've done that, you can go back to problem definition and do all the steps all over again until you get your desired output and your machine is nice and accurate, or the level, or up to a high standard. Okay, and after you have done your data modeling, you go to deployment. Okay, so testing, kind of showing your machine to the world, and kind of using it. So after that, you need to go back to data collection and do all of this again to make another model. Okay, so let's go over the steps one more time. So the first step we've got here is data collection. So collecting data. So what kind of data do we want to collect? The correct data. So we would just want to collect some data so far. Okay, so it doesn't matter what data it is. We just want to collect data that we think is suitable first. After that, we've got data modeling, where we make a model for our to build our machine. Okay, so this will basically be like the heart of our actual machine, where we will feed it images and all of that. So in the first step of data modeling, we have got what problem are we trying to solve. So we want to know what problem do we have. So which problem, what our machine is going to do, which problem is it going to solve, and how do we solve that problem. Those are some key things you need to think about in this first step over here. After that, we've got what data do we have. So we want to consider the fact that do we have the correct data or do we have the wrong data. Okay, because you want to have some data that is appropriate for your machine. So what kind of machine you're going to make? You want to have the data that's appropriate for testing that machine. After that, you want to know what kind of outputs are the successful outputs. So what kind of outputs are the ones that define success for you? So if your machine was to determine cats or dogs, then the desired output or the successful output would be it accurately determining cats or dogs. Sorry if I just said it wrong there. After this evaluation step, so after we think about what defines success or what outputs define success, we want to know what features should we model in our model. So what features should we include? Should we include the main features, the features that are kind of exclusive, so kind of maybe special features like tips or warnings, depending on the user's input. So this is what you want to think about when you are actually building a model. After that, we've got what kind of model should we actually use, because a model has a model inside it, so you need to use some type of model. So maybe a decision tree, or maybe nearest neighbors model, some kind of model that will be appropriate for your machine. So you need to choose this top model over here that works best with all your data. After that, we've got experimenting. So what have we tried? How can we improve what the output was before? What else can we try? And you go back to the start to do these experiments. Do it over and over again until you get a perfect output that you want. And after that, it's deployment, testing out your machine and showing it to the world. And you can do this again if you want to make another machine. Okay? So I guess that's the end of this, that brings us to the end of this video. In the next video, we'll start by creating an environment to start learning, as we want to actually we want to actually have something to work with when we're creating machines. And that is what we're going to be doing in the next video. Okay, so if you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel, IT Guys. If you have any suggestions, please comment them in the comment section below. If you have any doubts, please comment them in the comment section below. Or you can go to my channel and go to the discussion section and do that there as well. And I guess that's the end of this video. Bye, and please subscribe.